Hello, it's Mr. Cho, and today we are going to go through 2021 Bio Paper 1. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so this question says, the diagram shows a plant cell which labeled cell structure produces carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is produced during aerobic respiration. So the mitochondria is the site of aerobic respiration, so answer is B. Then 22. Which of the statements about movement of substances involve diffusion? Okay, so diffusion. So carbon dioxide from the body cells into the bloodstream, that's true. So our body cells are respiring and they're producing carbon dioxide, and that would then eventually go through the capillaries, back into the venules and back into the veins. So that's into the bloodstream. Glucose from the ileum into the bloodstream, that's true also. So remember, ileum is part of the small intestine. We got duodenum, we've got jejunum and ileum. So ileum is at the last part of the small intestine. Its function is to absorb nutrients such as glucose into the blood. Then movement of oxygen from the lungs to the bloodstream, that's true also. Right, specifically from the alveoli, the oxygen will diffuse through that one cell thick wall into the blood capillaries. So answer is D, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so 6 equal sized cylinders of raw potato are placed into different concentrations of sucrose solution and left for 24 hours. The percentage change in mass is calculated for each cylinder. The results are shown. Okay, so percentage change in mass, this means that it increase in mass, this means that it has decreased in mass. So what is the percentage concentration of sucrose in the cells? Okay, so it's the cell set, right? It's the cell set of the potato. So how do you do this, right? Simply, you just draw a line of best fit, right, from the first point to the last point. So what's the line of best fit? It basically means you're trying to balance or average out all the different points, and you must have roughly equal amount of plots on the right of the line and on the left of the line. Okay, so just draw a straight line using a ruler down. Okay, it's not straight really lah, but then you get the idea. Okay, so you see the point of intersection here, right? This is the point where there's no change in mass, and therefore there's equal water potential, EWP, right? I say Q, equal water potential with the cell set as compared to the solution around it. So answer is 50. Okay, which by the way, I just want to bring up one point here. Do you all know how to calculate percentage change in mass? Okay, so how do you do that? Okay, so let's say for example, I have a 10 grams potato, right? And then it has lost 1 gram. So maybe now it's lost 1 gram. So now this potato is only 9 grams. So what's the percentage change in mass, right? I've lost 1 gram. So I will take the final, which is 9 minus 10. So I take the final minus the initial, right? The final size minus the initial size, and then divide it by the initial size, which will give me negative 1 upon 10, right? So 9 minus 10 is negative 1, and then 10 is 10, so negative 1, then times 100%, that will give me negative 10%. Okay, that means that this potato has lost 10% of its mass. Okay, then let's try that again for an increase in mass. So let's say that I have a potato which is 10 grams, it has gained 1 gram, so now it's 11 grams. Okay, so I have to take the final, which is 11 grams, minus the initial, put that in brackets, divided by the initial mass, multiplied by 100% to give me positive 10%. Okay, so then this potato has a positive increase in mass of 10%. Okay, which of the following chemicals detect the presence of reducing sugar? So of course that would be Benedict solution. Okay, just remember Benedict is like a boy who loves sugar, fat boy, and like loves to eat a lot of sugar. So Benedict, reducing sugar. Okay, which by the way, what is a non-reducing sugar? Sucrose. Sucrose is a non-reducing. Okay, I don't know why I'm writing there. Okay, so 325. Protease is added to 6 different test tubes, each containing the same volume of protein. The tubes were kept at different temperatures. The time taken for the digestion of the protein is shown. Okay, so the shorter or the faster the time, the more active it will be. So I just find for the fastest time, right, where the protein is completely digested, and that's the temperature. Okay, so answer, which temperature is most optimum for the action of protease. Okay, that's 45 degrees. Okay, let's just talk about the rest also. So we see no digestion here. What's happening here? Right, at 65, temperature is extremely high, which means that the enzyme is completely denatured. Then at 15, we see that it takes really long, right? 26 minutes to digest the protein. It's very, very long. So that means that it's partially inactive. Right? It's too cold, so it's partially inactive. Okay, what's the function of bile? It's not to acidify food. It's not to activate enzymes. Does it break down fats into smaller droplets? Okay, to produce fat digested. Oh, this is definitely wrong. So answer is C, but a little bit strange because the word to use should be actually break up fats. I will tend to reserve the word break down for enzymes, and we know that bile. Go away. Bile is not an enzyme. Okay, it's just a liquid, right, that actually helps to emulsify. Right, it emulsifies large fat droplets into smaller fat droplets. Right, this increases the surface area to volume ratio for more to increase lipase efficiency. Okay, so that's what bile does. It increases the surface area to volume ratio of the fat droplets. Okay, on a sunny day, so sunny means there's light energy, then bubbles of gas that are produced by photosynthesis are released by green seaweed. Okay, so green means that there's chlorophyll inside the seaweed. Then which gas is present? Okay, so photosynthesis is happening, so that means that oxygen is inside these gas bubbles, which are basically oxygen bubbles. Let's just double check. Make sure no nitrogen, because nitrogen is very high. Okay, there's no nitrogen. Very good. Okay, so which of the condition does transpiration occur the fastest? Okay, so what is the four conditions? HALT, H for humidity, A for air movement, L for light, T for temperature. Okay, so let's see. Cold, no, right? Because cold means that the plant will not be photosynthesizing, and then therefore transpiration is low. Okay, so also cold. So warm, yes. Okay, so warm means there's more transpiration. And dry. Okay, so when there's very low, dry and is the same as humidity lah, right? The low humidity means it's dry, and when it's very humid, that means that the air around us is very moist in that sense. Okay, so when the air is very dry, this will create a very steep concentration gradient between the intracellular air spaces of the leaf and the atmospheric air. And so if this is the leaf, right, so there's a lot of water vapor, right, inside the leaf, and then this water vapor has a high concentration in the leaf and very low concentration outside, so it will diffuse out of the stoma into the atmospheric air. Okay, so answer will be C, warm and dry. 29. Which blood vessel in the human circulatory system carries deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs? Okay, so once you see heart to lungs, you must think of the word pulmonary already. Okay, so anything that goes from the heart, carrying it away, right? Anything goes from the heart to the lungs, away from the heart, that must be a artery. Okay, so answer is B. Okay, don't be tricked. Just because you see the word deoxygenated does not always mean vein. Okay, what's more important is whether it's carrying it away the heart or towards the heart. Okay, then question 30. The diagram shows structures in the human gas exchange system. Which row identifies the structure X and Y? X is your alveoli, then Y is your trachea. Okay, so X alveolus. Okay, yeah, sorry, singular is alveolus. Then Y is trachea, so B. Okay, then question 31. The equation represents aerobic respiration in humans, glucose plus oxygen. To give me the three things. Okay, actually there's one more thing, energy, right? Okay, so but there's carbon, okay, there's water, and there's energy. Okay, so P is oxygen, so not these two. Then Q must be either carbon dioxide or water, right? Okay, so Q is carbon dioxide, and then R is water, so A. So Okay, why is it not this one? Because it's not lactic acid, right? Lactic acid is only produced during anaerobic respiration. Okay, then carbon monoxide, alright, not dioxide. Carbon monoxide is found in tobacco smoke, which this statement describes the effect of carbon monoxide on the body. It decreases the amount of oxygen carried by red blood cells. That's correct. Let's just double check. Does it decrease the rate of mutation in DNA? No, it does not. It actually may even increase. Okay, increases, no, it will make you feel less alert because you have less energy in your body. Increases risk of lung cancer, it does not. That's what tar does. Tar is a carcinogen, which means that it causes cancer. Okay, but not carbon monoxide. Okay, then 33 says, which role describes where a hormone is produced and destroyed in the human body? Hormones are produced in the endocrine glands, so it's not nervous system, and hormones are destroyed at the liver. Alright. A. Which graph shows the relationship between light intensity and the pupil size? So when light intensity goes up, pupil size must go down, right? Because too bright, then your pupil must be smaller to reduce the amount of light entering into your eye. Okay, so which of them is correct? Okay, the pupil size is going down as the light intensity increases. That makes sense, right? So answer is D. Of course, why does it not completely drop to the ground? Because there's a limit lah. Your pupil cannot completely become zero. Okay, so if it becomes zero, then you are blind. 35. The diagram shows a section through a flower. Which structure produces a male gamete? Okay, so this is our petals, does not do anything. This is our stigma. So stigma is where the pollen grain will land, but it does not produce male gametes. This is our anther. Okay, so this anther is what produces the male gametes, so it's D. And then this A will be our sepals. Right, so this is what protects the flower as it's budding. So it's like just some leaves that are protecting it. Okay, the diagram shows how the thickness of the lining of the uterus changes during the menstrual cycle. At which point does the cycle is the level of progesterone the highest? Okay, so thickness of uterine lining in units, then days. Okay, so we know that for progesterone is relatively low at the start, and then it will increase at about day 18 onwards. So that's our progesterone. So answer is D. Okay, just for fun, let's talk about estrogen. So estrogen increases slightly at the start, and then it starts to peak at about day 13, and then it starts to drop after day 14. Okay, so that's our estrogen. Oops. Okay, so which pair of letters represent the sugar phosphate backbone? Okay, so we got sugar, we got phosphate, then the backbone of the DNA molecule. So R is our phosphate, U is our sugar, S is what you call as the nitrogenous base, but this is not important. As you can see, nitrogenous bases are pairing up with each other, but these are both nitrogenous, S and T are both nitrogenous bases. They are not what our question is asking for. So answer is R and U, which is B. What are the different versions of a gene called? Of course, they're called alleles. 39. The diagram shows what the genotypes of two parents and their possible offspring. Okay, so we got genotype of father, one big, one small, this is heterozygous. Mother, one big, one small, this is also heterozygous. Then offspring Z will be homo. Okay. Okay, so father heterozygous, mother heterozygous, nope. Homozygous B. Okay, just double check. Okay. Okay, question 40. Okay, so there's a biogas generator doing sewage. Okay, so in our sewage treatment plant, one of the good things that it can do is that besides breaking down the sewage, right, the harmful products in the sewage, it can actually turn these harmful products into useful products. Right, one of these gases is actually called methane. Okay, so which gas is produced in the biogas generator and used as fuel? This is methane. And just a fun fact, you know, when you're in the science lab, when you're using the Bunsen burner, you're actually using methane, right, as your fuel source for your Bunsen burner. Okay, so that's the answers for 2021 MCQ, right? Do try yourself again, right? So MCQs just repeat and repeat until you can get perfect 20 upon 20, and you can just use in pencil, erase your answers of that, and then a few days later come back and see if you still remember what are the answers. Because if you forget, that means you didn't learn properly. Alright, so with that, I'll see you in the next part. Okay, bye.